obviously the draft just passed. Both our teams got some players that we like, but I know you wanted to talk about what you really want to see from the Orlando Magic from here on out
Yep.
because they didn't select a center, and
Yeah.
you were hoping that they would select a center. They did
Yeah.
not. So I want you to tell the fans exactly what you want the Orlando Magic to do from this offseason to the first game of the regular season.
Well, what I want, and then what I also think what I could see them doing. Again, it's kind of a wild card here because again, they addressed a big need. Getting Desmond Bain was huge. Getting perimeter shooting, getting a secondary playmaker, and a guy that doesn't sacrifice a lot of defense to be here. That was great.
Mhm.
Obviously, losing Cole Anthony, you needed to get that spark plug off the bench that is going to be able to put up points, also be very efficient while doing so like from every level of the floor, and then also somebody who doesn't turn the ball over. Those were big struggles of Cole while he was here. Not knocking the guy, just calling it like it is. And they did that with Jace Richardson. Pretty much, he was the best guy I think we could have gotten with that pick at the time. Obviously, I was going for Clayton, but Jace again, he's all from what I've seen seems to be really bought into the Magic. So far 2 for 2. The second round pick was very interesting. I thought for sure with all those guys, all those centers on the board, Maxime Renaud, Ryan Kalkbrenner, I thought for sure like the move up would have been to get one of those guys, especially when Rasheer Fleming came off the board. They surprised me a little bit getting Noah Penda from France. More of a 6.5 foot wing, very versatile, kind of does a lot of what Jonathan Isaac does. Um, I believe he didn't struggle with injuries as much, so I think maybe if I'm reading the tea leaves a little bit, I could see the reason why they drafted Penda was so that maybe they find a way to trade Isaac. I love Ji, but I know that as well. Like he's making, 50. He was making 25 million last year. His contract, I think, now dictates he's making 15.
Mhm.
I'm thinking maybe they try to package him along with another player, maybe a Wendell Carter Jr., maybe a Goga Batadze, maybe both. And I think what they might do with that then is they've got their Cole Anthony replacement, they've got their JI replacement. Now I think they make a move to where they package a couple of those guys together, maybe another young player like a Caleb Houston or a Jet Howard, and maybe another second round pick, and you try to go after a center in this league, somebody that can stretch the floor, but is also a good rim protector as well. And I've seen a lot of people talking about, the things that Dell does with switchability and stuff. And that's good. Find a center that can do that. But I still think that there needs to be an upgrade at the center position moving forward. Just, I'm not going to knock anybody or whatever, but I think that if you can package Dell's contract, which he's making about 13 mil, which is a good discount, he's going to make an extension. He's got an extension coming up. But if you can package his deal along with Jonathan Isaac, that's 15 mil, so that's 28 million combined. You can still probably find a decent center that can do those things for you and can help solidify the starting lineup. He doesn't have to be an all-star, but if you can have a center that is going to be able to protect the rim, can be a decent switcher, and can spread the floor in offense, you've won the offseason. So I think honestly that's the move they go with. They seem to be a lot more aggressive and not just trying to stand pat if somebody's not working out. Like KCP only got 1 season and he definitely underperformed last year. They packaged him with Cole, who was struggling too, and look at where they're at now. So I kind of see a little similar thing with JI, who when he's on the floor, he has potential to be defensive player of the year, but he struggled with injury. This is like the healthiest year we've got from him. And then Dell, who had an off season last year or a down season last year, I think that they find a way to kind of salvage those two. And again, it's going to probably take some picks as well, maybe another player, but I think that that's the direction they go with to really solidify the starting lineup. Because the bench after that, you get a starting center to go with the core four, and then you've got a bench that's Anthony Black, Jace Richardson, De Silva, Penda, and then Mo Wagner. You've got 10 deep already. You can probably bring up either a couple of mid-level exceptions or even a couple of G League players on two-way contracts, and you're set.
So what I think that the Magic are trying to do, and you
Mhm.
could give me your thoughts on it
Yeah.
after, but what I think that they're trying to do is they're gonna wait on Wagner to come back. They're gonna put
Mhm.
him at the five in the starting unit. They're gonna put Dell off of the bench to come off the bench Try
Mhm.
to shoot some 3 pointers. Try to grab some boards. You give him less minutes, that he's gonna play even tougher and give more effort in those less minutes. I think it will be good for him. But I think
Mhm.
that's a direction that the Magic are gonna go to, which is why they didn't select anybody at the center position during the draft, which is why they haven't traded for anybody yet. Obviously, it could happen from here and on, and even until the NBA trade deadline in the middle of the season. But my thing is, I think they wait for Wagner to come back, start him
Mhm.
at the 5 with his brother Paulo and the other rest of those guys, and then have Dell coming off the bench, playing less minutes but playing more with more effort and intensity in that
Yeah.
second.
Yeah, and Dell def or not Dell, and Mo definitely does bring that intensity for sure. Like he is very much a spark plug. Basically, he's a spark plug at the post position or at the big position. So he only played 18 minutes a game last year. So if you do like the per 36 numbers, like he gets close to about a block a game, gets close to about like 2 steals a game. So he definitely does bring some defense. Now, I will say he does need to work on his ability to switch. That's the one thing I think that kind of holds him back. He's not an elite rim protector. He's not as versatile defender as Dell, but if he can figure that part out, like training and working on his maybe his lateral quickness, his mobility, I think that he's earned the right to be the starter at center because before he was injured, he was averaging 12 points a game in 18 minutes, 13 points a game rather, 18 minutes a game.
How many
That's
boards?
somebody he was averaging about 5 boards a game. So again, multiply that over the course of 36 minutes a game. He's getting about a
Double double.
20-10, yeah, a 20-point double double. And then he's shooting 56 from the floor and then 36% from three. That is elite offensive number. So if he finds a way to really solidify himself on the defensive end, like his brother Franz has, because Franz coming out of college was mostly known for his offense, but now he's learned to adapt to be a part of the defense. He'd be a perfect fit for the Magic starting five. And I would honestly love
Oh, and you
seeing,
have a great coach for that too when it comes to
yeah,
the defensive side of the ball. So I'm not even worried there for
yeah.
that.
So I could see them also doing that. And Dell, honestly, if he's playing less minutes, might help give him more longevity moving forward. And again, if they decide to package him and Isaac together, maybe they use that to get, maybe some more picks. They could even use them to get some more picks. Honestly, that wouldn't be a bad thing either. Maybe getting some more depth next year's draft, maybe replenishing some of that stock that they lost from the trade deadline this year. And if you were able to keep Mo, sign him on a cheap, what I'm thinking as well is the Magic might decline Mo's option, his team option, and then re-sign him to a prove it deal. You only are paying him then like maybe $8-9 million a year, and then you also are paying Goga Batadze that same deal. Maybe bring him off the bench instead. If you're able to deal Dell and Ji, you're saving about $20 million then a year because those two make 28 8 mil. It honestly would work out, I think, really well where you can give yourself some cap space moving forward. So if Mo does prove himself, you can resign him to a good deal. I would not be opposed to that in any way. So I think he's earned it. You know, Dell's
Yeah,
been Dell's been given like 5 years of being a starter, and he's done well for a while, but he's kind of been his trajectory is kind of going down. Mo has been kind of
I go to
doing
the
the
second
opposite.
unit. Yep.
Yeah, Mo's project or trajectory has been going up. So I say this is kind of the year where you give Dell the first half of the season to prove that he's a starter, prove that he belongs in this rotation, and if he doesn't, when Mo comes back, you give Mo that opportunity. Why not?
Yeah. No, I like moving Wagner to the 5, put Dell on the bench, come off the second unit, give him less minutes with more
Mhm.
effort and more intensity. I think
Yeah,
that would be good for you guys.
yeah, and you've got 4 years as well of this core four to figure it out. So if it doesn't work this year, there's next year, and there's gonna be some draft picks they could always draft in the next round anyway.